BoLS fans, AdamHarry back in with another quick BoLS unboxing. Today we have the Heroes of the Resistance expansion pack from Fantasy Flight Games, little care package here courtesy of them. We've got the YT 1300 Millennium Falcon, and of course the T-70 X-Wing, aka Black One, Poe Dameron's personal X-Wing. Pretty stoked about this one, not gonna lie. You can see here's the back of the box. Still have it in the plastic wrap. So we're gonna show off all the cards, we're gonna take a look at these ships, and we're just gonna dive on in. Let's do it. Plastic wrap is off. It's like Christmas every day here at BoLS. And here we go. I'm gonna open that on up. This should be the box with all the stuff. Just lay all that out there. It's empty now. Set that to the side. We'll go over that all in a second here. And then I'm gonna very carefully take this out. Here we've got the ships. So all the accessories, which we will go over here shortly. I'm gonna push these to the side. And let's take a look at the ships really quick. And these are in the weird kind of multi-layered plastic stuff. So here we go. Right there. Two ships. T-70. Poe Dameron's Black One, which is pretty awesome. And then there's the Falcon. Whoa! That was totally on accident. Check that out. Does it rotate? I'm scared to find out. I don't think it rotates side to side, so I'm not going to twist that to try to break it and find out. But back of the ship, very cool. I need to get out the other Millennium Falcon and compare to see if these paint schemes match up exactly or not. So even if they don't, the ship still looks really cool. Just because, yeah, it's a classic design we're all come to familiar with thanks to the awesomeness of Star Wars. 1300, the YT 1300 freighter here. There's a little, does it move? No, the guns don't move, the turrets and stuff. Oh, love this ship, so cool. So, updated version of that. X-Wing T-70, well, I don't know, YT 1300. This is an X-Wing T-70, the new version from the Resistance from Force Awakens, obviously. This is Poe's ship. We've seen lots and lots of folks at home do repaints of their own version of this ship, and now it's official. FFG actually has one, official Poe ship. Paint job wise, pretty spot on. I mean, not gonna lie, so pretty cool stuff there. Get a little closer so you guys can see. Even the underside is all painted up. Cool looking ship. It's got the classic T-70, now classic, T-70 engines on there, as you saw the difference there. So really cool. I'm glad they have Black One, very awesome. And now this also comes, of course, with a bunch of new pilots for the Millennium Falcon and the T-70 as well. It's got a couple of cool things to show off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause real quick while I open up these, and we'll get those all laid out and take a look. All right, I got all the components laid out real fast. There's a few things I want to show off before we jump into the cards. I will get to these, I promise. Just so you know what you're getting in the box. You're getting the bases, so we've got a large base for the Falcon, and we've got a small base for the T-70. No surprises there. Move those to the side. We got the little pegs for the dials, so you get two of those. You better get two of those. There's more than one dial. We've got the little guide here for you, so it's all the component lists. It's got explanations of all the relevant stuff, so the slam action, how the Talon roll works, new upgrade cards, all that fun stuff. Large ships, because every time they release a large ship, they include these rules so you know what you're doing. It also has mission 19, which is final mission here, which is kind of fun. Again, if you're tired of playing just one-on-one games of X-Wing, give these missions a try. You may actually surprise yourself and have a lot of fun doing it. It's also got the dials on the back here, so you can see we've seen these before. It's not a huge change there. So, all right, that's everything that I want to show off that way. We'll get to the cards. Here are the punch outs, which you're going to get a ton of these. Obviously, you're going to get the first one here that we're looking at is the Falcon for the base. This side has Rey, and then we've got the 4 pilots for the T-70 X-Wing. So real quick, we've got Rey here for the Falcon. Poe Dameron is now a pilot skill 9, so that's a new one there. 9 Nub is a pilot skill 7. Snap Wexley's a 6. Jess Pav is a 3. If you flip it over, these are two-sided. We get a bunch of Red Squad veteran 4s, and then 2 Blue Squad novices. So, and that's 2 vets, 2 novices, and then 2 and 2 and 4s, obviously. And then we also get Chewbacca piloting the Millennium Falcon again at pilot skill 5. Excuse me. So that's all good to go there. So move that to the side. The other one here, we have Han Solo, of course, flying the Falcon. Wish he was in the X-Wing. That'd be sick. We have a couple of the dials here, stress, shield, stuff like that. And then on the flip side of that, we have a resistance sympathizer here as well. And if you notice this time too, just want to show this real fast. The Falcon was one of those ships that early on had different profiles for the stats on the ship. They now have the same one, so just want to throw that out there if you were keeping track at home. So the Falcon is now a 3 attack, 1 agility, 8 hull, 5 shield ship across the board. So there's no differences now. And then last punch out thing, of course, we have more shield tokens, a bunch of new stuff there. So ta-da, there's the dials. Again, respective ship. If you have the fancy plastic dials, that's what those are for. So good to go there. We'll pause one more time. We're going to take a look at all the cards and yeah, check these all out. I'll probably do one at a time, one set at a time, so we'll probably do the Falcon first. All right, here are the Falcon's pilot cards here. Hopefully these aren't a surprise to anybody. We've been doing a series on these for a while now. We've covered pretty much all the cards. I think the only one we haven't really seen is the Resistance Sympathizer card here, but that's just because it's a generic pilot. So moving on. Basically, pilot skill 3, the Falcon's going to come standard with a missile slot and 2 passenger slots. So it's going to have a focus action and a target lock action. So that's the base stuff there. Moving on down the line, again, we've already mentioned the firepower, which is a turret. It's a 360 primary shot, which it also has 1 agility. It's got 8 hull and 5 shields. Covered all that. First unique pilot up is Chewbacca. His ability, after another friendly ship at range 1 to 3 is destroyed, but has not fled the battlefield, you may perform an attack. And we've talked about this one before too. If you run Chewbacca with a bunch of Z95s, like really cheap ships, you can generate quite a few shots from Chewbacca in a turn. Notice that the only restriction on that is a friendly ship at range 1 to 3 is destroyed. They can't have been destroyed by flying off the battlefield. So if they get killed by an enemy shot, he gets to immediately perform an attack. And there's no restriction on the number of attacks a turn that can generate or whatever. So Chewbacca is not a bad ship to fly with a Z95 swarm. Just throwing it out there. Next up, pilot skill 8 is Rey. It's a pretty big jump. When attacking or defending, if the enemy ship is inside your firing arc, you may reroll up to 2 of your blank results. This is pretty huge. There's a combo obviously with Finn, which we'll get to in a minute here, but I'm just throwing that out there for now. Han Solo is going to be the top of the line here. Pilot skill 9, super awesome. He's got a really unique ability that's a bit of a game changer, in my opinion. When you are placed during setup, you may be placed anywhere in the play area beyond range 3 of an enemy ship. So this is the first ability we've seen that actually kind of messes with deployment, and it doesn't say anything about being deployed in your opponent's deployment zone. So you could literally pop up, the deployment zone's here, you can literally pop up inside their deployment zone, range 3 away from a ship. You're going to force your opponent to do some weird turn 1 stuff to deal with the Falcon. Yeah, if they're flying a TIE fighter, they're going to have to like fan out in their deployment zone. You can do a lot of weird stuff just having Han on the board. The only downside of that is the pilot effect only happens once, but it can give you a pretty big jump in the game. So something to think about. He will throw a curveball at people, just deployment-wise. The other thing that's unique to the YT 1300 here is, of course, the Millennium Falcon title. This is a new title. It's different from the old one. This one says, after you execute a 3-speed bank maneuver, that's the soft turns, if you are not touching another ship and you are not stressed, you may receive 1 stress token to rotate your ship 180 degrees. Basically, if you want to think of it like an S-loop in a lot of ways. So it's pretty cool. So, and the cool thing is you have the option to do that. You don't have to do it when that is executed. So we're going to pause one more time. We're going to take a look at the T-70 ships, and then finally we'll take a look at all those cards. All right, folks, here we have the T-70 X-Wing. Overall, it's an awesome ship. If you're a new player, this is actually the ship I recommend to people to learn how to play the game with, just as far as like you know, learning the basics of maneuvering and combat and gameplay. Like the T-70 X-Wing is a sturdy ship. It's very forgiving to fly. It's got a boost action too, so you can mess around, get yourself out of a jam if you need to. It's just a really fun ship to fly, and it has some excellent starter pilots. That said, let's let's go ahead and take a look at those. We're going to start with the bottom row here. First on deck here is the Blue Squadron Novice. It's a Pilot Skill 2. The base stats on the T-70 aren't going to change. It's a three die primary, two dice for agility, 3 hull and 3 shield. So again, full ship, great all-around ship. It's going to come with a torpedo slot, an astromech, and a tech slot, which tech's new for the Force Awakens kind of ships. So the tech slot's pretty cool. The basic squadron, Blue Squadron Novice here doesn't have any pilot skills. Next up though is a Pilot Skill 3. This is just Pava. Same stats obviously, but Pilot Skill, when attacking or defending, you may reroll 1 of your dice for each other friendly ship at range 1. It's a really great ship for flying in formation, for flying with wingmen. If you can master the tricks of the trades of maneuvering close with your friendly ships, that can really rack up the hits. So that's nice too, because then you don't have to worry about spending it on a twin link. You've already got the reroll based just flying close by. So it opens up some options here. Just does not have elite pilot talent, which I didn't mention in the other ships, but you guys saw those. But same loadout here: torpedo, astromech, tech slot, 25-pointer. Next up is the Red Squadron Vet. Same stats here. Pilot Skill 4 though, so it's definitely out of that Predator range, which is nice. Comes with an elite pilot talent slot as opposed to these two, which is awesome for 26 points. No pilot skill tricks, but man, having a 26-point ship that's this beefy with a EPT plus all the options you have for upgrades, pretty saucy. Focus, target locking, again boost, pretty nice stuff. Skipping up here to Snap Wexley. Snap again, his JJ's buddy. After you execute a speed 2, 3, or 4 maneuver, if you are not touching a ship, you may perform a free boost action. That's always nice to get a free action there. You may not need the boost innate on the card, but you get a free boost action. You can change that up and do some fun stuff. Also comes with an EPT, which is nice. 9 Nub, one of my personal favorite pilots, just because he's got some cool ability. It's good to see him back in the pilot seat too. When you receive a stress token, if there is an enemy ship inside your firing arc at range 1, you may discard that stress token. So cool under pressure. That's kind of 9 Nub's thing. Pretty awesome stuff there for 29 points. Last but not least, certainly not least, is the Pilot Skill 9 version of Poe Dameron. If you remember from the initial release, there was a Poe Dameron card in there. He was Pilot Skill 8. This one has the same pilot ability, but he's Pilot Skill 9, and he costs a couple extra points. The big difference is that by going to Pilot Skill 9, you don't have to give him Veteran Instincts to help him up in the turn order. So you still can and push him to an 11, because who doesn't want to go to 11? Just don't get stuck there. But it frees up that elite pilot talent slot, in my opinion, to do some other cool stuff with Poe. Of course, throwing BB-8 on there is always welcome. But basically, his ability is the same. While attacking or defending, if you have a focus token, you may change one of your focus results to a hit or an evade, which is pretty awesome. And then, of course, we got to take a look at Black 1, the title card for the T-70 X-Wing only. After you perform a boost or barrel roll action, you may remove 1 enemy target lock from a friendly ship at range 1. You cannot equip this card if your pilot skill is 6 or lower. So all of these guys cannot equip this this title. That means 9 Nub can do it and Poe can do it. So it's not a fix, not a hot fix for the regular X-Wings. I know a lot of people were hoping about that, but that is only for the T-70. So, but it's a 1-point title. Don't know why you wouldn't want to take it. So there's that. So we've gone over the Falcon and the T-70. Let's take a look at all those upgrade cards. All right, got all the cards laid out. Let's start working my way from left to right here. We're going to start with the smuggling compartment right here for the YT-1300 and YT-2400 only. This is a modification and it is limited. So this basically gives your upgrade bar the illicit icon slot and allows you to equip 1 additional modification upgrade that costs 3 fewer squad points. So that's going to give you stuff like the Hotshot Blaster and a couple other options. I know the Debris Field card is another option to dump your cargo, so could be fun. I really like this card actually with Dash. If you want to run Dash in your list just to throw out some extra junk on the board for him to ignore and have your opponents deal with. So that's a fun little card. I don't know how much we're going to see that in tournament play, but yeah, it's an interesting option to give the Rebels access to an illicit slot. So Moving on, I'm going to start on the bottom row. Prime Thruster, this one's really exciting. This stress tokens do not prevent you from performing boost or barrel roll actions unless you have 3 or more stress tokens. This is a tech slot, so pretty much only available to the new T70s. Actually, you can also run that on a couple of the first order ties as well. So Prime Thrusters, I'm willing to bet we're going to see that show up in a couple of spots. Next up, you get 2 Burnout Slams. This is a large ship only upgrade. If you remember from this sheet right here, it was showing off how to use the slam actions and kind of why you would want to do that is because of this card. Burnout Slam, your action bar gains the slam action icon. After you perform a slam action, discard this card. So the slam action is pretty unique because it allows you to really get some extra space across the board really quickly. So it's kind of like a boost, but one-shot boost in this case, and it's a lot of distance, which is cool. We have a Hotshot Co-Pilot. When attacking with a primary weapon, the defender must spend 1 focus token if able. When defending, the attacker must spend 1 focus token if able. So it kind of forces them to spend their focus tokens. Why would you want to do that? There's a couple of cards out there that if they have a focus token, they get some benefits. Specifically, think about even Poe Dameron. If he's got a focus token, he gets a benefit. So this forces them to get rid of that, which is kind of nice. For a 4-point upgrade, though, kind of on the fence about that. It's a very specific thing. But, I mean, it does affect lots of stuff, so I don't know how they generate the points for these things, so I could see it being pretty useful in certain situations, too. We also have the Astromech Droid M9G8. When a ship you have locked is attacking, meaning target locked, you may choose 1 attack die. The attacker must reroll that die. You can acquire target locks on other friendly ships. So this guy is a trip. It's a unique card, so you only have 1 on your list, but if you think about it, you can do some really kind of tricksy stuff. Because it allows you to target lock a friendly ship, that ship can then reroll 1 attack die. You can force yourself to reroll the attack die, which is kind of interesting. It's both an offensive and defensive buff. I really like M9G8. That's a really fun ability, but if you can lock a buddy at the start of the game, you can keep that lock up the entire time the ship's in combat, or as long as you don't get a new target, you can force your friend to get rerolls, which is really nice. We have integrated Astromech. You get 2 of these. X-Wing only. Again, that's the other X-Wing can use that card too, which is nice. When you, not just the T70s, but also the T65. When you're dealt a damage card, you may discard 1 of your Astromech upgrade cards to discard that damage card without resolving its effect. So it's pretty nice to get out of jail free cards. We already talked about the Falcon. So jumping back up top here, we're going to take a look at Snapshot. After an enemy executes a maneuver, you may perform this attack against that ship. The attack is 1, attack 1 ship. You cannot modify your attack dice and cannot attack again this phase. So a couple of things to call out. It is a 2-die attack. It is range band 1 only. And it does say you cannot attack again this phase. However, this happens during the maneuver part of the phase. It's not going to affect your combat phase. It's during the action phase. So the maneuver action phase. So you're basically what's going to happen is the target's going to execute a maneuver inside your line of fire. You're going to get to shoot it immediately. They're not going to have a chance to put any focus tokens or evade tokens on it because it's as soon as they perform execute the maneuver. So you execute maneuver, stop, check for firing solution. If you have a firing shot, you can take it. It's actually pretty good, and I think it's designed to really mess with aces a lot, because the aces that need their agility tokens or focus tokens or anything like that are really going to get, this is going to give you a chance to actually put some hurt on them. And of course, it's a range 1 shot, so it's kind of interesting. Next up, we have Trick Shot. When attacking, if the attack is obstructed, you may roll 1 additional attack die. It's kind of an interesting thing right there. It is an elite pilot talent. Adding an extra attack die, man, I can see where they're going with that, because combine that with Finn. When attacking with a primary weapon or defending, if the enemy ship is inside your firing arc, you may add 1 blank result to your roll. Now you're thinking, why would you want to do that? Combine that with Ray, combine that with Trick Shot, you're rolling 1 additional attack die when shooting through an obstacle, and you're getting a free blank. This lets you reroll 2 dice. So pretty nice. Or you could just be everybody else and spend a target lock and get that shot as well. Raise ability, which is pretty cool. At the start of the end phase, you may place one of your ship's focus tokens on this card. At the start of the combat phase, you may assign one of those tokens to your ship. Ray banks focus, straight up banks focus, which is really nice. You can basically focus turn 1. If you don't spend it, put it on Ray and kind of keep moving it back and forth during the game if you need to spend it or not. It frees up the action slot, frees up your action economy. Pretty nice little card for 2 points. Pattern Analyzer is another tech slot. When executing a maneuver, you may resolve the check pilot stress step after the perform action step instead of before that step. So what does that even mean? So let's say you did a red maneuver and you're going to get a stress. Well, instead of immediately applying the stress, you can still perform your action and then you get the stress. So it changes up the way the turn works. It allows you to, you still have to take the stress, but it's nice because you can still perform your action. So you still have to deal with the stress next turn, but and this says here, it says you may resolve the check. So if you wanted to execute a green maneuver to clear that stress, it doesn't permanently swap those two things. So you can still execute a green maneuver, remove the stress, and be allowed to do an action. So it's actually kind of nice. Again, it works well with some of the other pilots. 9 Nub, for instance, getting rid of the stress, getting able to do that stuff wouldn't affect him too much. But a couple other pilots would really appreciate Pattern Analyzer. I know using that in, say, like a couple of ties, a couple of different FOs that I'm thinking of right now that would probably benefit from that too. We talked about the Black One title already. So that's pretty much it as far as cards. And that's pretty much everything in the set that we want to cover here. So that, again, the new Heroes of the Resistance pack from FFG should be in stores relatively soon, so keep an eye out for that. Heroes of the Resistance expansion pack. Really cool stuff. I'm AdamHarry from BoLS. Thanks for watching.